Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me to speak about the topic of fashion this month at the LIPG. The topic I've chosen is Christian Dior and in particular a collection called The New Look. In this speech I will talk a little bit about the company, the man behind the company and the impact that the New Look collection had on the world of fashion. Thank you. I'm sure you've all heard of the fashion label Christian Dior. It is one of the global leading brands in the area of fashion, but it also makes watches, perfume, makeup, leather goods, handbags. It is part of the parent company LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Moet and Hennessy. To give you some facts and figures about the company, it employs over 6,000 employees. It has over 200 boutiques worldwide. And the sales that were posted in 2020 were 18 million euros. It is a symbol of French luxury all over the world and is especially popular in the United States and in Japan, where the markets are very strong for this brand. Now, Christian Dior himself, he was French, he was born in Normandy, and he soon moved to Paris, where he established the House of Dior on the fashionable Avenue Montaigne in the 8th arrondissement of Paris. This is where the head office is to this day, and still some of the fine hand-worked sewing is done there in the house itself. His dream was to introduce women to discovering a world of joy and elegance and luxury. He wanted his collections to be elegant, structured, and feminine. A lot of his influence came from art and from colours and from flowers. And the collection I particularly want to talk about is called The New Look. Now, this collection was established in February in 1947, so shortly after World War II, and that is significant. As you may know, during the war and during during Nazi occupation in France and in Paris, clothing was rationed, fabric was rationed. And after the war, Dior's collection wanted to react against that and reintroduce women to use of fabric again. And so he introduced a design that made use of longer pleated skirts. He used percale. He designed using corsets and petticoats and created what was termed the New Look. It was called the New Look by the editor-in-chief at the time from a magazine called Harper's Bazaar. He created a classic hourglass look that was very sculptured, very elegant. Part of that design was what was called the bar jacket, a very fitted jacket with a very tight nipped-in waistband. He worked very much on the shape and silhouette of women's fashions. Now, the reaction to this was very strong. People had been used to being very, very sparse with their fabric, and then all of a sudden using copious amounts of fabric created a very, very strong reaction. And when the models demonstrated these fashions in a photo shoot outside in Paris in a market, then a lot of market store holders found the use of fabric abhorrent and attacked the models for being too extravagant, too reckless with the use of fabric. Gradually, as rationing lifted, the attitudes towards this use of fabric changed. Some of his contemporaries were also designing at the time. They were figures like Jean Patou, Jean Lanvin, and Nina Ricci. You may have heard of those names as well. One of the other contemporaries was Gabrielle Chanel, who was called Coco Chanel, and she had a very strong reaction to Dior's new look. She didn't like it at all, and she said, "Look how ridiculous these women are, wearing clothes by a man who doesn't know women, never had one, and dreams of being one." Strong views there from Chanel. However, Christian Dior revolutionised women's fashion, particularly after World War II. He re-established Paris as the centre of the fashion world, and his legacy and his influence lives on today, notably through Yves Saint Laurent, YSL, who was hugely influenced by Christian Dior. So he represented a turning point in the history of fashion. I hope you found this snapshot into Christian Dior interesting, and thank you very much for listening.